It's kind of, ever since I started freestyle, it was always a dream of mine, but it was always probably, the dream was always quite far in the future. Like it's quite a high goal to see yourself going when you're just learning to flat water cartwheel or something. But probably the time when I really decided to go for it and felt like, yeah, I had a chance and could do it if I'd focused was, I've been working in Uganda for a year as a video kayaker. And at the start of that, I kind of lost my fire a little bit for freestyle. And Katja came along and I met her, and she was really fired up for freestyle. She was just in the early stages of like learning all the big moves and was doing really well at it. And that kind of got me the fire back for freestyle. And then I kind of started looking around at the people who came to Uganda to go out there and train. So I'd see Peter Sonka like really focused and determined, like doing like really big rides on there. And and also on the internet, I was looking at like videos of like Mathieu Demoulin and lots of the good paddlers around. And this kind of like showed me like the determination and focus of some of these kayakers, and like, I wanted to kind of follow down that route and see where I could go with it. And that's kind of the time I decided, yeah, I really want to go and see where I can go in competition and hopefully go for world championships one day. In the beginning of when I left Uganda, it was basically I'd work as little as I could, just get a little bit of money together, and then I'd live super cheap with like living out of the back of a Citroen ZX, so a really small car, and we'd just take whatever money we had and go kayaking as much as we could. The main thing I think is you just got to enjoy what you're doing, and then everything else will follow. But we did definitely chose to like lead a much healthier lifestyle, so we kind of stopped drinking and started eating better, and tried to look at various different ways to improve our kayaking and get more from it.
So on the Post Worlds blog you put up, one of the really interesting things was about your diet, and it sounds sort of quite clean, quite pure, no doubt works for you. Tell us a lot more.
Well, I started it completely this year. I've been doing it kind of half and half for a while. But I basically just eat raw fruit and vegetables and like dried fruit and nuts and seeds, and occasionally eat some raw fish. And I try and stick to that diet as much as possible, really. And I found like after a month of doing it, I had like a huge difference in energy levels and just how good I feel.
So lots of fruit, sleeping in a car. What about on the water and just generally for fitness? Do you have a program you follow for that?
I have tried doing like various spurts of like doing runnings in the morning, and like I found that kind of helped, but I hate running. I much prefer just being on the water. And this last month I've focused a lot more on the mental side, especially like, so I've done a lot of meditation and like reading up on psychology and trying to prepare my mind for it, and I think that's kind of actually made much more of an effect than the actual training on the water or even fitness. During the competition I was doing it more and more frequently through the day to try to like calm myself down, and I'd try and bring myself to a calm level and like visualize what I wanted to see. So I'd imagine myself on the podium after doing a really good ride, and then I'd kind of try and work through exactly the kind of run I was aiming for that day. I'd like visualize it and go through it in my mind, and then after be done like meditating on those kind of things, I'd then stop and do a few like dry land runs. So I'd be kind of stood around, dancing around on the side. Like, it doesn't look very cool, but it works really well. Like, so just go through exactly what I'm going to do when I'm on the water, but on dry land, and I think it makes a big difference. Like when you get on the water, then you feel prepared and ready.
I mean, a lot of people, some people have coaches, you know, at the level you paddle. Other people just work with their peers. What's your sort of strategy? Do you have anyone, or you just work it out yourself?
I'd say my biggest coach is Katja. She's always telling me like what I'm doing right or wrong, and she's so tough on me sometimes that like you have to really try hard to get a response out of it that I've done something good. Like I have to do like a 5-move combo or something to get a cheer or something.
Oh, really? So someone who can be critical then is
yeah.
Someone who's honest and critical.
Also, I really like to paddle with people who push you. So like, while we've been training here, we've been paddling a lot with like Martin Koller, German kayaker, and Peter Sonka from Slovakia. And then obviously when we're away, they're like in Canada, stuff, lots of really good kayakers. And I find that's the biggest way to push myself on. And it kind of always has been. I always like to paddle with paddlers who are all either better than you or at a high level. Just they always feed off each other and push you on.